Hey there, good folks. Ken Kiernan, Fasting Rip 50. Today, we're going to call this video Get Serious Before It Gets Serious. What do I mean by that? Well, I suppose through the years, there's been so many times that I've gotten phone calls from people that have often been given bad news, or they walk through the door and that may have been after having a stroke or a heart attack or being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And on one hand, I'm grateful that I get the referral from their physicians and that they're actually looking at exercise and lifestyle habits as being an effective medicine, an effective way to improve their life, to extend their life, to improve the quality of their life. That's terrific. And then there's a melancholy moment when I stop to think, what if this person would have actually started 5 or 10 years, earlier? How much better position would they be in now than and they hadn't done anything? So I look at it in both lights. So the point being is yes, there are certain genetic factors that could predispose someone to have issues with all the things that I've just mentioned. But more often than not, the great majority, it's lifestyle. It's what you do or what you haven't done. It's the food that you put in your body. It's the fact that you haven't forced your body to get any stronger through the years. And now you got to pay the piper. So what I want to try to do is I want to try to inspire people to start to do things now, so it's not about that phone call that I get in a year and 2 years down the track. It's about you having an awesome quality of life, whether you're 30 or whether you're 80, and that you're strong and that that you have a certain amount of vigor to your life. So where do you start? All right. I'm always going to start people in the direction of strength training at least a couple times a week. Does that mean that I don't have a lot of regard for things like Pilates, yoga, basically trying to free up movement? No, big fan of things like Pilates. Does that mean that I'm not in favor of doing cardiovascular training, or whether that is cycling or running or walking, climbing? No, I'm definitely a fan of all that. But if I were to start at one point, I think the greatest changes in overall health are going to come in the strength world. And I think by strength training, when you do it properly, you're not necessarily doing a set and then staring in the mirror, flexing your biceps for 5 minutes. You're working hard and you're working fast. And not only are you going to get stronger, not only are you going to increase your muscle mass, but you're going to have the benefit of some good cardiovascular conditioning as well. That is something that builds in time. And that's something to remember. Folks, things don't go from first gear to fifth gear immediately. If they often do, what happens is people burn out really quickly or they get injured. And when they get injured, they're not training. So it's about progression. If you have more time and you have the budget, and it's about weighing those things up, that's when mobility work, that's when cardiovascular work can and should be added to get you even healthier. Needless to say, you can be doing all those, but if you have other lifestyle habits that are going on in the background, whether that's shit food, whether that's drinking too much, whether that's recreational drugs, etc., well, then you're going to have a look at that. You got to look at your priorities and say, what do I have to do to A, feel better now, but B, safeguard me for the future, so I age well. And I understand that most people, that my audience isn't made up of a lot of 20 and 30-year-olds. It's probably more 50, 40, whatever it may be. I love training athletic 20 and 30-year-olds, but I get an even greater sense of satisfaction when I can take someone who's 40 and 50 and not in a good place, and some months ahead or a year ahead, whatever it may be, all of a sudden they go to their GP, they have blood work done, and it's like, oh, you don't have cholesterol issues now. You don't have blood sugar issues. That is even more exciting to me than getting someone beach ready. Don't get me wrong. I love performance. I love sport. I love getting people ready, even ready for a bodybuilding stage, extreme things. But to me, it's about living better. And That's why I want to prioritize strength training first, and that's why I use those other things as helpers along the way. What does this mean? This means also that if for you to make those changes, you're going to have to get out of your comfort level. And that is what it is all about. That is life. If you never get out of your comfort level, then look at yourself in the mirror now and just know that in 10 years from now, you're going to see an older, weaker, version of who stares back in the mirror right now. If you make these lifestyle changes, and that means falling on your ass now and again and it not being easy, but by doing these things, all of a sudden in time, when you're going to look in the mirror, maybe in 2 years or even 2 months from now, you're going to see a stronger, better version of yourself. And that is what this channel is all about. That's what I'm after. Okay, what I'm also after is I want the audience to grow. And for that to happen, you got to make sure that you subscribe to this YouTube channel, Facebook pages, Instagram, wherever you're checking this out. It also means that I want to know what you're curious about. I want to know what questions that you have. So put them in the comment sections below. If you need help and for example, you don't live in the area that I live in, I can still help you out. But I want you to send me a direct message via FastingRip50 on Instagram. It's just I find that the easiest way for me to get back to you. I got a slightly chaotic life, and if I can have all my messages in one spot, it's going to make my life a little bit easier. So that's the idea, is to get serious before it gets serious. And why not have a preventative view of the world and you be in control? Okay, you decide who lives in this body, but you decide now, and every week, if you can get that little bit better, that little bit stronger, eat that little bit smarter, good things are going to happen. All right, until next time, Ken Cunin, Fasting Rip 50. Take care.